Yo, it's your boy Burnard, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that's caught my eye this week. Unfortunately, I do have to give a rest in peace to James Carter Cathcart, who was a voice actor on Pokemon. He provided the voice of Meowth, James, Professor Oak, Gary Oak, and various other characters throughout Pokemon. But he also provided voices on Sonic X, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, One Piece, Kirby Right Back at You, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mission Odyssey, and Shadow the Hedgehog. He passed away from throat cancer at the age of 71 on July 8th. Like, if I go to IMDb right now, the last thing he did, because he retired in 2023, he did a TV show called Mashed. Like I said, he was pretty much James on Pokemon from the beginning to like the end of Ash's journey. So James, Meowth, Professor Oak, Gary Oak, Apollo's Tales, Little Bird's Big Adventure. Like I said, mainly it was Pokemon. If you go to his filmography, it's Pokemon. Kikoriki, Alada's Moonlight Serenade, which is a Pokemon thing. Animals United, what is this, Madagascar? It looks like. He was a voice of a vulture in there. He was Vector the Crocodile in Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Winter Games. Very long filmography, going all the way back to, looks like 1986. So yeah, rest in peace to James Carter Cathcart. All right, next story is Warner Brothers, David Zaslav, and a bunch of stuff that came out from the Wall Street Journal. I don't know if you guys recall, but a few years ago, Ta-Nehisi Coates was trying to get a Black Superman movie done with J.J. Abrams that was supposed to star Michael B. Jordan. So we didn't know which Black Superman it was, if it was going to be President Superman or if it was going to be Val-Zod. But apparently, it would have seen the Man of Steel in a tale set in the Civil Rights era. But the take was injected with the air of excitement among fans online at the time in the wake of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Apparently, David Zaslav killed this because he said the movie was going to be too woke. And they also apparently tried to poach Kevin Feige from Marvel. Which, I don't think he's leaving Marvel anytime soon. Marvel pretty much made Kevin Feige a billionaire. But yeah, so James Gunn was also saying that the plan is to do at least 2 movies a year, and 1 live action show and 1 animated show. The Wall Street Journal reached out to Warner Brothers Discovery in regards to the Black Superman movie being buried, but no response has come out yet. So I don't get why they decided to bury this. Maybe because of the simple fact that non-comic readers don't know that there have been several Black Supermen over the course of the inception of DC Comics. But James Gunn also said that it's possible that could happen later on down the road as part of the Elseworlds stuff, like in the same, not necessarily the same universe as the Batman, but Elseworlds is their version of them. So it's not the main DC, like Earth 1999 in the MCU, where everything is pretty much connected. But yeah, that was just dumb. It's just like, do the movie, because guess what, Zaslav? People are calling Superman woke now because people tend to forget that Superman is a immigrant refugee from a planet, an alien planet. And like, this has been sprinkled throughout Superman history in the comics, TV shows, movies, animated movies. Like, check out Superman Man of Tomorrow on HBO Max. Like, a lot of the one scene that touches on this very specifically is when Parasite is being attacked by some civilians, and they're calling him an alien freak. And Superman explains to them, he's not an alien. He was in an accident. If anybody's an alien, I'm an alien. So yeah, there's that. All right. A movie I did not watch in the 90s, Practical Magic, starring Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, is getting a sequel. But they also announced some cast members who will be returning. So Diane Weiss and Stockard Channing will be reprising their roles alongside Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. But they also announced that Lee Pace, Solly McLeod, Maisie Williams, and Zoe Marijuana have been cast in undisclosed roles. So, I mean, I might watch the first one on, if it's still on HBO Max. I added it to my list. I don't know how long ago. Just never got around to watching it. Also, TV news. The Big Bang Theory is getting another spinoff outside of Young Sheldon and George and Mandy's first marriage. And that will be Stewart Fails to Save the Universe. So this is going straight to HBO Max. It will not be on CBS like the other shows. And surprisingly, it's not going to Paramount Plus either. But I guess that's because it's not a CBS thing. It's a direct Warner Brothers type of show. So Kevin Sussman will be returning as Stewart. Lauren Lapkus, I can't remember her character's name, but she plays Stewart's girlfriend in the later seasons of The Big Bang Theory. Who did she play? She was... Denise. So, John Ross Bowie will be returning as Barry Kripke, and Brian Posehn will be returning as, what the hell was his character? He was the geologist. Big tall guy who kind of sounds very monotone. I'm going to his filmography right now as we speak. I feel like it was Ward, something like that. Bert. There it is. Bert Kibler. So yeah, it says Stewart fails to save the universe set in the future after the events of Big Bang. And comic book store owner Stuart Bloom is tasked with restoring reality after he breaks a device built by Sheldon and Leonard, accidentally bringing about a multiverse Armageddon. The contraption is something Sheldon and Leonard worked on at the end of the original series. Stewart is aided by his girlfriend Denise, geologist friend Bert, and quantum physicist / all-around pain in the ass Barry Kripke. Along the way, they meet alternate versions of the characters we've come to know and love from The Big Bang Theory. As the title implies, things don't go well. So, this actually might be a spinoff that I continue watching, even after like 3 or 4 seasons, if it even gets that long. So, sounds very entertaining. I'm pretty sure the CG budget is going to be astronomical on this. But, what is my next story? Oh, simply this. Something nobody asked for, but when do we ever ask for stuff? We are getting a new Red Sonja movie. And the trailer dropped, and I'm going to check that out now. And let's see if I can even get the level of hype that I had for Afterburn and the other 2 trailers I watched last week. So it was Afterburn, Running Man, and Project Hail Mary. So let's check this out.
Sonja, the earth is bleeding.
Oh Lord, this is done by Millennium.
The power to find those who did this.
Why are you here?
To see my people again is all I dreamed of.
I like this one. Very, very feisty, eh?
Witness the rise.
Or we both die. Someone has to make a stand. Nothing but death awaits us.
of a legend.
I will do what damage I can.
You know what, Red? You are quite the woman.
You think that your gods can stop me from conquering the world beyond?
Or it won't just be the Kamen who suffer. It will be every tribe, every people who defy him.
That didn't work. That was cool.
I am here to fight!
Till the Lutz.
And all of your kind are relics from the past. I am the future!
It's now or never.
Is Red Sonja.
Never.
You can have this and these.
And that protects.
Nothing. The crowd will love it.
So, yeah, I mean, this really doesn't look like it's going to be good. And it looks like they really didn't have a lot of faith in this movie because it will be available in theaters and digitally August. So why would people go to the movies when they can just sell the 7 Cs as soon as it comes out? Yeah, don't know if I'm going to be reviewing this one, guys. Because it really doesn't. Like, this looks like it was like a fan-made trailer. And Millennium Pictures, they don't ever really have like good CG like they did Expendables 4. Let me just go to like a lot of the stuff that they've done has not been good. All right, let's go to the 2000s because I don't know any of this stuff in the 90s. It looks like a bunch of made for TV stuff, and that's usually what their stuff looks like. It looks like it's made for TV or fan made. I don't know anything that came out in 2001. Prozac Nation sounds familiar, but I don't ever recall watching that. They did Undisputed with Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames. Something called Blind Horizon. Belly of the Beast with Steven Seagal. That should tell you something right there. Unstoppable with Wesley Snipes. I keep thinking that's the movie with Denzel. Something called Mosquito Man, Snake Man, Bloodsuckers. 16 Blocks. It looks like that's the only good one they did. The Wicker Man. I don't think anybody saw that movie. Until Death. The Death and Life of Bobby Z. Never even heard of that. Stars Paul Walker. They did Rambo. Not First Blood, but Rambo in 2008. The Way of War. Never even heard of that. Something with Cuba Gooding Jr. Looks like it went straight to DVD. Brooklyn's Finest with Wesley Snipes. Conan the Barbarian. Expendables 2. Texas Chainsaw 3D. Olympus Has Fallen. Basically, just look at all those movies. The budget isn't really there for the CG. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is, right? What are you gonna do? All right. What is my next story? And after that, I'll go on break. Because I need to get my iPad ready for comic previews. Oh yeah. So TikTok said, you know what? We're not going to follow anything Donald Trump said, but we are going to just kill off the TikTok app next year and basically make a new app. And it will be called M2, and that will be launching on September 5th. And TikTok will be shutting down March of next year. So if you want to keep your TikTok account before March 2026, you will have to download this app and basically migrate your data all over. Like I said, I don't really use TikTok. So I haven't even been making clips for the podcast. But hey, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? I'm going to take a break. Y'all can listen to After Dubby. Let me go grab my iPad and do the comic previews for September when I get back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. and it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task, and go to debbie.gg and use my promo code angryblerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's debbie.gg with promo code angryblerd10. All right, I am back. So I'm going to start with Image Comics. And we have Skinbreaker, #1, written by one of my favorite writers, the creator of Invincible and The Walking Dead, who is basically spearheading the whole Energon universe. That's the Transformers G.I. Joe Void Rivals crossovers. Robert Kirkman, with art by one of my favorite artists, David Finch, who is joined by Annalisa Leone. So this will be coming out September 24th. It's 32 pages, $4.99. It says the dream team of Robert Kirkman and superstar artist David Finch present a visionary action epic unlike anything you've ever seen. Enor has led his tribe for many seasons, but the time his chieftain is coming to an end. He wields the mighty Skinbreaker, but at his age he can barely lift it. Will Enor's reluctant heir, Anak, take over before their world falls to ruin? As a bloody power struggle begins, an even bigger threat lurks in the darkness beyond their village. Skinbreaker tells the story of a people on the verge of collapse in their fight for survival as the many threats they face close in for the kill. So I was looking at the artwork, and it's David Finch. David Finch never misses. David Finch also, I believe, has been using the same inker for like the longest. And I believe that's Danny Mickey, but I don't know. But the art looks good. Colors look amazing. Usually when they post previews of comics, they leave no dialogue, so you just see the art. And from what I see, it looks good. All right, IDW. And this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones. This will be written by Alex Packendale with art by Anansi Nahuelfan. No exact release date on this. It just says September 2025. Spinning directly from the pages of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones' first solo miniseries in over 30 years. Casey Jones was shot by D.A. Hale. He's awake, has a second chance at life. Instead of taking things slow and smelling the flowers, he's jumping headfirst into the action. Casey is hitting the streets and doing everything he can to protect the people in New York City, but those closest to him think he's pushing too hard. April O'Neil and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles especially. Casey's closest friend Raphael are concerned. Things are going to get worse when a new strain of mutagens starts changing the shape of New York City, and a brand new villain threatens everything Casey believes in. They didn't show any preview art for this one, but Nancy Lee also did the cover, and the cover looks good. So if they have the same inker and colors, cool. Because like I said, that can change like a direction of a book like that. All right, still an IDW. I hate their new logo, by the way. Just looks like 1D. All right, this is a mini series, and it's something from my childhood. Street Sharks. September 2025, 32 pages, $4.99. Casey Jones is going to be 36 for $4.99, by the way. Story by Stephanie Williams, art by Ariel Medell. So it says mini-series premiere, the first of 5 Jawsome issues. The first Street Sharks comic in more than 20 years brings you extreme stories and a fantastic time. But don't call it a comeback. They've been waiting for everyone else to get ready for some more Jawsome adventures. The 4 Bolton brothers were happy playing sports and meeting babes, but when they run in with a mad scientist turned them into gigantic sharks, they only got cooler. Kick some serious fun with Ripster, the great white head of the pack. Streaks, the rollerblading ladies man, or lady shark. Jab, the hammerhead who loves using his noggin. And Big Slamu, the whale shark with the whale-sized muscles. On their newest adventure, they'll need all the help they can get to stop their arch-nemesis, Dr. Piranha, from developing the perfect predator. Little do they know it's already too late to stop the grossest monster they ever fought from being born. Once again, no preview art for this one, but looks good from the cover. It looks like it's straight out the cartoon. All right. That's it for IDW. Now, Dark Horse Comics. This is written by one of my favorite Spider-Man writers. Wrote Spider-Man for about a good decade and some change. J. Michael Straczynski. This is Synthetics Part 1. With art by Tony Parker. 32 pages, $4.99. For some reason, this is in September solstice, although it comes out October 29th. On a dying Earth filled with expanding dead zones, humans form rage gangs to vent their anger at futures lost or escape into the cyber void to avoid thinking about what's coming. Our only hope of survival rests with a new kind of humans. Will their appearance in a desperate world be met with acceptance or destruction? Are they angels, devils, or the latest iterations of Frankenstein's monster? So this kind of reminds me of, what was the name of the movie Bruce Willis did? I want to say like a decade ago. I can't remember. Let me look this up. Where basically everybody had a robot version of them, and they were all hooked into AI. I'm looking this up real quick. Surrogates. That's what it was. So again. Don't know if this is on. Oh, it's a 4-issue miniseries. So, I can spare $20 for 4 months. All right, so now I am going to Dynamite. If you were a fan of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, this one might be for you. This one comes out September 3rd. This is The Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Written by Jimmy Palmiotti, with art by Pasquale Quilano, with several variant covers. Okay, so synopsis is: secure in their luxurious penthouse high above the downtown streets, wealthy inventor and art collector Randy Crown and his faithful canine companion enjoyed a charmful existence until the fateful day a vicious gang of thugs shattered his complacency. In the aftermath of the vicious attack, Crown focused his incredible technical skills to rebuild both himself and his four-legged companion into the ultimate instruments of retribution, the Blue Falcon and Dynamite, the Dog Wonder. In this all-new take on the classic Hanna-Barbera cartoon, legendary comics author Jimmy Palmiotti and acclaimed artist Pasquale Quilano bring to life a dark tale of justice and revenge that reimagines big city's crime-fighting duo for a new era, featuring gorgeously pretty covers from Luciano Parillo, Amanda Connor, Joseph Michael Lenzer, and Francisco Mattina. Why is Francisco Mattina still getting art gigs in comics when he got caught using AI on a bunch of Batman and Superman? But it's neither here nor there. All right. Still in Dynamite. Chitara, World Breaker. This is 40 pages, $5.99. Comes out September 24th. I feel like I already said that already. Return to Thunderer's Golden Age in Chitara, World Breaker. An historic new adventure that turns back the clock of time when the young Chitara's mystical connection, Sixth Sense, was brand new and terribly terrifying. As the fledgling warrior grapples with her begrudging abilities, she slowly begins to master the mysterious power that comes with the Sixth Sense's bond. But nothing can prepare her for the shattering discovery of who else might be sharing their physical needs. This special 40-page one-shot from author Nate Cosby and artist David Cousins spins the unforgettable tale of rebellion, power, and betrayal, all highlighted by instantly classic covers from Declan Shelby, Lucio Perillo, Ivan Tao, Edwin Gauman, and classic animation art from the original television series. So cool, one shot. No wonder it was $5.99. So this is from Clover Press. I believe I told you guys last month about the artwork of Michael Turner, the Marvel art of Michael Turner. So this book is going to be the DC art of Jorge Jimenez. So hardcover, 216 pages, $80. It's an advance solicit for October 1st. So they say Clover Press is still to launch our newest line of high-end boutique art books with the DC Art of series, and it begins with a premiere volume. The DC Art of Jorge Jimenez. Jorge Jimenez burst into the pages of American comics in 2011, and his talent immediately caught readers' attention. His dynamic, almost pharaonic line work and manga-inspired designs put him in a category all his own. and he quickly climbed to the ranks of some of DC Comics' core series, including Superman, Justice League, and Super Sons. Working with the likes of Peter Tomasi and Scott Snyder, he's currently completed his greatest accomplishment yet, a 5-year run on the company's flagship Batman with superstar writers James Tynion IV and Chip Zdarsky. Will soon begin his new run on the title with Matt Fraction. Now, over a decade of eye-popping artwork is collected in one piece for fans to revel in the full breadth of Jorge's DC bodywork. This new 9x12 coffee table book features over 200 pages of stunning art, gilded edges, and a ribbon bookmark. This is an absolute must-have for any Jorge Jimenez collector. In addition to the regular edition of the book, Clover Press is proud to announce an exclusive edition only to direct market shops. This edition will not be available in other stores. So you can get the regular edition like at a bookstore, Amazon, whatever. But if you want that direct market, it's a different cover. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to cop that one as well as the Michael Turner one. All right. So Oni Press, who is doing the Biker Mice from Mars book. I think Oni's doing Captain Planet. I cannot recall. But another TV series from my childhood is being adapted into a comic book. This one is also a miniseries. And this is Wild West Cowboys Umu Mesa. Written by Matt Hofston with art by Juan Guedin. Issue 1 comes out September 17th. 32 pages, $4.99. The synopsis reads, the Wild West is about to get even wilder. Based on the classic animated series and their red-hot line of toy collectibles, the Cowboys of Moo Mesa are back and set to ride toward an all-new showdown on the frontier from red-hot writer Matt Hofston and blockbuster artist Juan Guedin. Before he takes the badge, riding to the lawless border town of Moo Mesa as we meet Marshall Moo Montana in his earliest adventure. In a time gripped by fear and uncertainty, disorder pervades the desert. And his citizens have started to go missing, including Moo's former mentor, the respected Sherry Mary Quine. With shadows growing along the mesa, Moo must navigate old grudges, new alliances, and a conspiracy that reaches deep into the heart of Mesa's past. Bringing together the nostalgic charm of the beloved Saturday morning series with the pistol-slinging new vision, follow Moo Montana, Dakota Dude, Calamity Kate, and more into the saga of justice, mystery, and redemption in a world where honor wears a hat and rides a steed. This is Moo Mesa like you've never seen before. Deeper and daring, saddle up. So I was a little bit scary because Juan Guedin, he did a DC book which was basically called Jurassic League. So it was basically the Justice League as dinosaurs, and I wasn't a fan of it, but his cover on this looks good. So if the interiors look like this, then I'll get it. So I'm not going to add it to my pull list just yet. I'm trying to make a note in my phone to go to the comic book store when it comes out, pull it off the wall, look at the interiors, and then make up my mind. All right. This is a hardcover manga from something that came out years ago. I want to say like 2017. You guys might have seen it on Netflix. It's called MFKZ. I believe it also aired on Cartoon Network. It's also called Motherfuckers. But the anime will officially be the manga will officially be available through Only Press via Magnetic Press. It's 88 pages. It's $24.99. It says, based on the Netflix film of the same name, this award-winning comic book has taken the U.S. by storm. Angelino is a young loser like thousands of others in the DMC. His monotonous days drag between TV, Mexican wrestling matches, crappy odd jobs, and metaphysical discussions under the stars with his buddy Vince. A stupid scooter accident plunges him into a hurricane of unimaginable troubles, with the fate of humanity on the hook, heavily armed in black. Gangs of all kinds and a troupe of Mexican wrestlers all collide to face the vicious cosmic entities determined to invade the planet. So, I might check out this movie again. I watched it when it aired on Netflix like 5-6 years ago. When did this get released in the US? 2018. But apparently it's on Hulu now, so yeah, I'm gonna check that out. All right, merch stuff. This is specifically for Loco. I'm sorry. I'm just a vessel to enable your obsession with Deadpool. So Marvel is releasing Deadpool literary classic Funkos. So these are all $14.99 each. There will be a Long John Silver Deadpool, a Ghost of Christmas Past Deadpool, and a Don Quixote Deadpool. I don't know when exactly they come out, but I'm pretty sure you can look on Amazon to pre-order those. All right. Also maybe a part of Loco's obsession, but mine is worse. Back to the Future. So, there will be some magnets coming out. Those are $3.99 a piece. I'm gonna see if I can find an image because just describing the magnets is just dumb. But yeah, so one is like well, they all include the DeLorean, but one is like a tie-dye version of the DeLorean. One is just the traditional Back to the Future picture where you just see the back of the DeLorean with the flame from the tires. And one is a 1.21 gigawatts like prism type of magnet. So Jada Toys, as much as I love y'all, I hate y'all because how many DeLoreans do I have from you guys? I have 3 in storage. That one makes 4. I don't know if that big one over there. So possibly 4 in a possible. So now they are getting ready to re-release the 1 and 24th scale DeLorean for $29.99. And they are releasing 2 1 and 32 scale diecast DeLoreans. One will be the frosted version, you know, when you just get back from time travel. And the one Loco hates, the Back to the Future 3 DeLorean. But this is the one with the rail wheels, so it doesn't have the white wall tires. Both of those are $6.99 each. But they are also going to be releasing a Hollywood Rides Back to the Future 132 scale diecast vehicle 3-pack, which contains all 3 versions of the DeLorean from Back to the Future and a nice box set for $20.97. Also, we will be getting a re-release of the Out of Time California license plate for $23.99. It's still solicited here, but the Time Circus replica I already told you guys about is $59.99. They're releasing 2 Back to the Future notebooks. Both of these are 3D effect. I'm pretty sure, like if you were in high school or middle school, like the middle of the late 90s, early 2000s, you had that binder with like the stupid Millennium thing. It's like that. So one's for Back to the Future 2, and the other one's the DeLorean just flying in here. And those are $6.96 each. Also, from Factory Entertainment, a high-quality, officially licensed scale prop replica of the plutonium case as seen in Back to the Future. It's amazing. 3.5 tall by 3 feet wide scale prop replica is cast out of solid metal and comes with a collector's packaging. It can be displayed both open and closed. Note, the plutonium cylinders are not removable. And that's $59.99. I don't play cards, but they are also releasing a Back to the Future deck of cards for $6.99 and a DeLorean key replica. Why are they releasing a DeLorean key replica? We never even saw the key for the DeLorean in none of the movies. They're also going to, this is from Surreal Entertainment. There will be a Back to the Future lunchbox with a plutonium cooler container, whatever. That's $24.99. And they are, this is from Aoshima Bonka Kyozai. They are releasing Back to the Future 1 in 43 scale pullback model kits. So basically, you put the car together, and it's one of the traditional pullback cars. You pull it back, and it goes forward. Also, a gray Sportsbook Almanac replica from Dr. Collector for $21.99. And that is it for my solicits, unless anybody is interested in getting a Back to the Future 2 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle from SD Toys. Oh, loco. Go to entertainmentearth.com for the Deadpool Funkos. I just thought of Entertainment Earth. All right, so let's get to DC Comics. Batman is restarting on September 3rd. As I told you guys, in the Clover Press. DC artist Jorge Jimenez, he will be drawing this book with Matt Fraction on writing duties. $4.99, 40 pages. It says a new day dawns for the Dark Knight detective as Eisner Award-winning writer Matt Fraction joins forces with superstar artist Jorge Jimenez for an unforgettable new era of Batman. The best superhero in comics gets a brand new first issue to kick off this new era that will test Batman and Bruce Wayne like never before. Bruce just went through time and lost a hand, so I don't know how much more he can be tested because Chip put him through the ringer. We really got to stop calling Batman a superhero because super involves powers, but whatever. Told you guys Red Hood was getting a book. This is officially solicited for September 10th. Once again, written by Gretchen Flecker Martin with art by Jeff Spokes. $4.99, 32 pages. Jason Todd has left Gotham and Batman behind him, and all he's taking with him is his costume, his bike, and a metal briefcase containing 2 handguns and a lot of bullets. New Angelique seems like a perfect place for the Red Hood to put down roots. There's crime, vice, and corruption everywhere. When Jason discovers a superpowered serial killer who's targeting the city's police, he finds himself sucked into a terrible and bleak conspiracy with seemingly no end in sight. But Jason isn't the only person on the scene. Following his trail is Helena Bertinelli, aka Huntress. Is she here to stop him or help him? What will happen when the 2 black sheep of the Bat family start working together? Get ready for Red Hood like you've always wanted to see him. So this is going to be rated M for mature. So I'm going to check that one out. That was pretty much it for DC. Not a lot of new number ones. So let's go to Marvel. With the Marvel/DC Deadpool Batman. Written by Zeb Wells with Kevin Smith, Kelly Thompson, and Chip Zdarsky and more. With art by Greg Capullo, Adam Cooper, Gurihiri, Terry Dodson, and more. So it says the crossover you pined for but never thought possible. Deadpool and Batman cross swords and batarangs as Marvel and DC unite for the first time in decades. Wade Wilson has been hired for a job in Gotham City, but will the world's greatest detective help him or destroy him? 64 pages, $6.99. The Daredevil and Green Arrow story is written by Kevin Smith with art by Adam Kubert. Deadpool and Batman is by Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo. Captain America and Wonder Woman is by Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson. And as I said before with my disdain, Jeff the Landshark and Crypto is by Kelly Thompson and Gurihiru. And I don't have a problem with Crypto. It's Jeff the Landshark. I'm not a fan of Terry Dodson's art. I used to be, but as I've grown in my taste of art, all Terry Dodson does is just draw women very provocatively and they all look alike. If you just type in Terry Dodson artwork, every woman character he draws looks the same. Anyway, I will give you guys the release dates at the end of this because, like I said, for some dumb reason, Marvel doesn't actually put their release dates in with the description of whatever book is coming out. Like they have a checklist at the end of their solicits, which is just dumb. Anyway, Spider-Man 94, number 1 of 5. Written by J.M. DeMatteis with art by Jim Toe. Covered by somebody I met, Nick Bradshaw. It says, the 90s animated hit series returns. After searching to the ends of the multiverse, Peter Parker, the amazing, the spectacular, the radioactive redhead himself, aka Spider-Man, swings back into the streets of New York with his beloved Mary Jane Watson in tow. But what's this? One of these villains is not like the others. Witness the universe's debut of not one, but 2 Spider-Man greatest villains in comics. Legendary Spider Scribe J.M. DeMatteis and rising star Jim Toe bring you the return you've all been waiting 30 years for, and you're never going to expect the twists and turns of your ahead for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Break out your action figures. And post up in front of the TV as we bring you back to the greatest era of animated superhero television in history. So I'm glad that, we are getting a resolution to the cliffhanger that was the end of Spider-Man the animated series, because he just left with Madam Web and went to go search for MJ. And if you were like me, you thought Spider-Man Unlimited was indeed a follow-up series to Spider-Man the animated series, but in fact it wasn't. It was just something that they made to basically combat Batman Beyond. All right, next book. Did I say how many pages were in that? 32 pages, $4.99. All right, Battle World 1 of 5. This is written by a writer I haven't seen at Marvel in forever, and that's Christos Gage, with Marcus Toe on art. The cover by Lionel Francis Yu. This is 32 pages, $4.99. The Battle World from Secret Wars returns. Slay your enemies, prove your worth, and all your desires shall be yours in the world to come. Heroes from across the multiverse are thrown together on a patchwork world. Sorry, my phone turned Do Not Disturb off. To engage in their own secret wars for the survival of their timelines. Who or what has created this battle world, and for what nefarious purpose? Enter Maestro. Is he friend or foe? Punisher, Red Band. So, Marvel's getting back into the Red Band books, so this is usually the books with like a whole lot more violence and things of that nature. So this is a 5-issue miniseries, and I hope this is in the main continuity of the 616. But this is written by Benjamin Percy, who just finished up a amazing run on Wolverine, with art by Julius Otta, with cover by Marco Cicchetto. Frank is back. Reread and reload, true believers. Frank Castle is back. With no memories and a full clip and a thirst for wrathful vengeance, his violent search for answers could only be chronicled in a Red Band series. Bullets will fly, blood will flow, and the citizens and criminals of New York City alike will feel their name, the Punisher. From superstar Helverine creative team of Benjamin Percy and Julius Otta, don't miss a single post-pounding page of this explosive new series. 32 pages, $4.99, and this will be polybagged. So I guess the cover is going to be very gruesome for them to put it in a polybag, because polybags are also making a comeback. All right, so this is a tie-in for Imperial War Exiles, written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Steve Fox. Jonathan Hickman and Steve Fox are the writers, with Francesco Manna on art. So it says, from the pages of Imperial. A coup at home has imperialed Shi'ar majestic Zandra, tearing her from the throne. Her only hope for survival lies in a mismatched group of renegades led by her father, Professor Charles Xavier, and her resurrected mother, Lilandra. But when faced with the awesome power of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, the only way to survive is to run. So, I actually just read The Resurrection of Lilandra on Friday when I was reading X-Manhunt when Charles Xavier broke out of prison. Also, part of Imperial War, Nova Centaurian #1, with Jonathan Hickman and Jed Mackey on writing duties, with Matteo Della Font on art. The Xandrian world mine will be lost forever unless Richard Rider can earn the credits needed to keep it alive. So Nova must offer services to the highest bidding. Have helmet, will travel. So Nova is actually one of my favorite space characters. The Nova Corps, who should have been more fleshed out in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. That's not a shade to James Gunn, but they're based like the Green Lantern Corps, so they're space cops. They don't make constructs and stuff like Green Lanterns, but kind of sort of like the same thing. All right. Undead Iron Fist. This is a 4-issue miniseries written by Jason Wu with art by Fran Galan. Oh, that Nova one-shot is 32 pages, $4.99. Same thing with the Imperial War Exiles. All right. 32 pages, $4.99 for Undead Iron Fist. The Iron Fist rises. The Book of Iron Fist declares that every Iron Fist will die by the age of 33. But who created this false prophecy? Danny Rand is killed, but can you truly kill an immortal Iron Fist? Learn the truth about the legacy of Danny Rand I'm sorry, learn the truth about the legacy of the Iron Fist as Danny rises once more to snuff out those who threaten the legacy before Danny's time runs out. Yeah, Danny died like 2 years ago, so yeah. And last I checked, he wasn't Iron Fist anymore. But I don't know. All right. Ultimate Hawkeye. So this is a one-shot written by Dennis Camp, who is currently on the writing of The Ultimates, with art by Juan Friguri. All right, so spinning out of The Ultimates, breakout hit character Hawkeye goes on a covert solo op that will have a massive impact on the future of the Ultimate Universe. Very cryptic synopsis, but okay, cool. Hopefully that doesn't end with Hawkeye dying. I don't really cover a lot of Star Wars stuff when I'm doing these solicits because the Star Wars stuff is kind of like the X-Men stuff. It's just overly saturated with so much stuff. But Star Wars Han Solo, Hunt for the Falcon. This is a 5-issue miniseries written by Rodney Barnes. And if it's the Rodney Barnes I'm thinking about, then cool. With art by Ramon Rosales. So Rodney Barnes, he was a writer on the Boondocks. He also worked on the Black Dynamite animated series. He has his own animation company, Martian Blueberry. I don't know if you guys recall, but we had critics from the culture on about a year and a half ago who works with Rodney. So it says, less than satisfied with a settled life, Han Solo lands on the idea of reclaiming the Falcon and returning to a life of adventure. Problem is, he can't find it. After enlisting a less than enthusiastic Chewbacca, the duo embarks upon a quest to reclaim the greatest ship in the galaxy. Standing in their way are a laundry list of rogues who have staked the claim to the Millennium Falcon as well, like the villainous scoundrel who stole the Falcon, Duquesne. 32 pages, $4.99. All right, so the Ultimate Hawkeye will be out on September 3rd. Punisher Red Band will be out on September 10th. Imperial War Exiles, Spider-Man 94, and Star Wars Han Solo, Hunt for the Falcon will be out on September 3rd as well. September 17th will be Deadpool Batman. I'm sorry, did I say 17th? September 17th is Deadpool Batman. September 10th is Imperial War and Undead Iron Fist. And September 24th will be Battle World. All right, so that is it for my solicits. Let's get back to the stories. So, the Hot Wheels movie. I don't know how this is going to be different from Fast and the Furious, but they found a director. And that will be John M. Chu, who has directed Crazy Rich Asians, and he also directed Wicked and Wicked for Good. This will be written by the writers of They Clone Tyrone and Creed 2, Joel Taylor and Tony Rettermeyer. There isn't much known about the movie, but J.J. Abrams will be a producer for Bad Robot. And Mattel's Robert Renner will be representing the toy studio. John Chu said that Hot Wheels has always been about more than speed. It's about imagination, connection, and the thrill of play. Bringing that spirit to the big screen is an incredible opportunity. I'm excited to partner with Mattel Studios, Warner Brothers Pictures, and Bad Robot to create an adventure that honors Hot Wheels' legacy while driving it somewhere entirely new. So like I said, I really don't know how this will work as a film, but, we always say we don't know how things are going to work as a film or a TV show, like Twisted Metal. How would that work as a TV show? But it's working. Season 2 comes out like at the end of this month. All right, so my next story is simply this. Movie franchise that I was never really invested in, despite the fact that I love a good majority of the cast, but never watched. It's getting rebooted. Night at the Museum. We'll be getting a reboot coming from Dan Levine and Sean Levy, who also worked on the previous iteration of the franchise. Tripper Clancy will be writing, and Tripper Clancy has worked on the Die Hard series that was turned into a movie that was originally, I said series, not series. That was turned into a movie after Quibi went under. The Quibi, the one that was turn your phone and all that stuff. No other news on that, but the whole deal with Night at the Museum, everything in the museum comes to life at night. I feel like there was a Night at the Museum TV show that aired on Disney Plus, or was it just like the third movie where like Ben Stiller basically passed the mantle? I'm looking this up. This is going to be one of those things that annoys me. Night at the Museum. Oh, franchise. That's what it was. Night at the Museum, the Kamara Rises Again. Oh, nope, that's not what I'm thinking about because that's an animated movie. Seriously, what am I thinking about then? Oh, no. Because wasn't Zachary Levi in a live action Night at the Museum movie? Anyway, it looks like he wasn't. So Ben Stiller did 3 of them. I don't know. I'm tripping. Could have sworn Zachary Levi was in a live action Night at the Museum movie. Guess not. Anyway, next story. The Last of Us Part 2 has gotten a free software update. And they announced that you will be allowed to play the game chronologically, which basically changes the whole game. So you will not have to play like the first hour as Abby anymore. And then like play her story at the tail end. So, I mean, I don't know how that's going to work. And a lot of people are asking, hey, what about us who have this game on PS4? I mean, I have it on both PS4 and PS5, but I don't know if I'm ready to go back to that game just yet. It has nothing to do with the show, because the whole thing with The Last of Us is I'm going to end up playing part 1 before I play part 2. But I might do that. But they also announced, since this is a Naughty Dog franchise, you can now have new skins for Joel and Tommy with Nathan Drake's clothes. I don't really care about skins like that. But, hey, some people do. All right. This is coming from Japan. My final story before I get into the reviews. We are getting a new Kamen Rider series, which will be called Kamen Rider Zeztz. It says, set in a world shaped by the dreams we see in our sleep, the titular character Zeztz enters people's dreams as an agent on a mission to bring a bold new form to the battle. While we don't see any exception-style antics in the previews, but apparently this will be coming over to the US as well. Unlike all the other Kamen Rider series, with the exception of Masked Rider, and there were a few in like the 2000s, but like after that, nobody really rocked with Kamen Rider because Power Rangers pretty much took over everything. That's why when Masked Rider came out, they did a backdoor pilot where the main character, whose name I'm drawing a blank on, first appeared in, I want to say, season 4 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And we actually found out that Ted Jan Roberts, who actually was the character of Prince Dex, who was the main character, passed away about 3 years ago. It just came out publicly like earlier this week at the age of 42. Where was it? Where can you show me where the production began? Yeah, it doesn't say where what season it was, but it was a 3-part Power Rangers episode, A Friend in Need. So 95. So what was that, like season 3? I feel like that was season 3. Yep, season 3. I called it. So yeah, I'll check out Kamen Rider Zeztz. The dub in the trailer looks good. I'm not doing a reaction to it because it's only 30 seconds. But yeah, I believe I am going to queue up the spoiler alert now for Dexter Resurrection. So we got 2 episodes for the premiere. Stars Michael C. Hall, Jack Alcott, David Zayas, Natari Gumbo Mamba, Miwe, Dominic Fermazza, James Remar, Peter Dinklage, Uma Thurman, Kirsten Ritter, Steve Shripka, John Litko, Eric King, Jimmy Smits, Neil Patrick Harris, so on and so forth. So Episode 1 is A Beating Heart, which is the first 2 episodes are actually directed by Marco Siga, but episode 1 is written by Clyde Phillips and Scott Reynolds. So Harrison is living in New York as a bellhop at a hotel, who ends up eventually giving in to his dark urges and murders Ryan Foster, who was a sexual predator who was attempting to rape Shauna, who is in town for a medical conference. So yeah, meanwhile, Dexter, as we left him in Original Sin, was in a coma for 10 weeks and sees basically the ghosts of some of the people who he either killed or is responsible for their death indirectly. So he saw James Stokes, obviously saw Harry, Miguel Prado. I'm trying to think, who else did he see? Is that it? Oh, Arthur Mitchell, aka the Trinity Killer. And they basically said, you know, you need to get up, be there for your son, blah, 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 blah. Dexter is visited by Teddy, who was in New Blood, who is now the sheriff, since Angela left Iron Creek. She also told Dexter they're even and get the hell out of town. So she recanted everything that she told Batista. But Batista shows up anyway and decides to ask Dexter a few questions. He also informs Dexter that since he was the one who declared Dexter dead, he reversed that. So now Dexter Harrison is, I said Dexter Harrison, Dexter Morgan is officially alive again, according to the United States of America. Harrison gets sloppy with the murder of Ryan Foster, but he does follow the code that Dexter gives him, chop the body up into 9 pieces, put it in separate bags, so on and so forth. But apparently one of those bags was not tied well enough, and the garbage man threw it and it broke open. So, episode 2 is Camera Shy. Like I said, directed by Marco Siga, written by Scott Buck. And surprisingly, this episode was good because Scott Buck, if you don't know, became the showrunner on Dexter with seasons 4 through 8. So he was, he gave the green light to make that dumb subplot of of Deborah being in love with Dexter and a few other things. So Dexter eventually escapes the hospital and makes it to New York. He investigates the crime scene, sees that Harrison did a good job of cleaning it up, also figures out where Harrison might have chopped up the body, so he sneaks into the hotel and sees that Harrison left a little bit of blood on the ceiling of the kitchen where he chopped up Ryan Foster's body. But he is still reluctant to reveal himself to Harrison. Dexter's car gets towed, and he ends up meeting a Uber driver. I don't remember what they're called, your driver or whatever. He gets a new ID because Dexter Morgan is officially alive. He rents an apartment, buys a car, and he finds out that a serial killer going by the name of the Dark Passenger is killing immigrant rideshare victims. Dexter does some research, finds out that the killer is somebody named Robert Schmidt, but also decides to save the life of the next driver that Schmidt was going to kill. And Dexter almost collapses due to leaving the hospital before his physical therapy was done. Harrison sees his dad, sells Dexter's truck, and freaks out once he sees him. So I'm not going to lie. These first 2 episodes were good. Uma Thurman is like very mysterious in this show. It's like, what is she doing exactly? I guess we will find that out later on. But yeah, I got no bad notes. Like I said, I saw Scott Buck on this second episode and I got scared. I'm just glad he's not the showrunner. It's Clyde Phillips is back. So, we got that. All right. I believe I am going to talk about Jurassic World Resurrection now. I said Jurassic World Resurrection, Rebirth. Directed by Garrett Edwards. Directed by Garrett Edwards, written by David Kopp. So, stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, Ed Skeen, Richard Fiend, and several others. So, The world is finally bored with dinosaurs, and many of them are dying from the disease and the pollution of the modern day environment. Mercenary Zola and Dr. Henry Lewis are hired by Parker Genetics to go to a remote island that was abandoned after mutated dinosaurs ran amok. The pharmaceutical representative, Martin Krebs, wants the duo to collect 3 blood samples of dinosaurs from dinosaurs that roam the earth, the air, and the sea, so that Parker Genetics can use medicine that can create so Parker Genetics can use their DNA to create a medicine that's will save millions of lives. Zora puts a team of mercenaries together, led by Duncan Kincaid, as well as Leclerc, Nina, and Bobby Atwater. Along the way, a lot of the soldiers are killed, but they also save the Delgado family and Teresa Delgado's boyfriend Xavier, who were stranded after a Mosasaurus knocked over their ship. The crew get to the island, but the mutated dinosaurs destroy their boat, and it's up to Zora and company to evade raptors and a 6-legged Stegosaurus Rex and get off the island with the blood samples and get back to the mainland. So, all in all, I enjoyed this movie. It was a very slow build, but I really didn't have any in place. But the D-Rex, that is the ugliest dinosaur I've ever seen. I really wanted Xavier to die, but he slowly started to grow on me. And he eventually became the MVP of the movie after he jumped off the boat to save his girlfriend once Krebs decided to let her fall because she was going to call for help. And they are basically in a no-fly zone. It's a restricted zone, so you get caught, you're going to jail, and no one will come to help you. But Jonathan Bailey was good in this movie. I've never seen anything with Jonathan Bailey in it, to the best of my knowledge. Like if I went to his filmography right now, I don't believe I would know anything. Okay, I thought his middle name was Smurf for a second, but it's Stewart. On his filmography right now, Les Mis, nope. Let's go to television. Looking at him, he was in an episode of Doctor Who. He was in the Time Heist episode. He was in Chewing Gum. That's where everybody knows him from. Bridgerton. Yeah, don't watch it. So yeah, Mahershala Ali got buff. I don't know if those were blade muscles or if he was just decided to stick in get in the gym for this role. But yo, what's up with Blade? Can we get Blade already? Rupert Fiend, who I know from Homeland, was just spot on villain. Like as soon as I saw like a gun in the park, well, on the island, I knew he was going to get that gun in perfect Jurassic Park/World fashion. He had to go. So all in all, I feel like I'm going to give this movie a 7. I didn't like it as much as I liked Ironheart, which I gave an 8 to. It's very hard for me to go below a 6, honestly. But I really did enjoy the movie. I had no complaints. I like that there was a Michael Crichton Easter egg in the movie. I'm not going to tell you where it was. And I really felt bad for, what was her name? She was in Zora's crew. She was Nina. She just got taken out quick. And I was like, damn, you hate to see it. But, alright guys, I think I'm done for the day. That was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg. Use my promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. And next week, episode 3 of Dexter, Resurrection, and Superman. And I will be talking about everybody on the right who's calling the movie woke, who has clearly never read a Superman comic in their life. But anyway, I'll see y'all next week. Peace.